Welcome, everybody, to AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. It's time for the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. John.
Doug.
How are you, man?
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Heard you had a fun time.
Yeah, sort of.
So, I guess you're a Gary Johnson supporter now.
Who?
Well, you were Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz wrapped up his campaign, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
so you must
did.
be, it's got to be, you're probably one of those never Hillary, never Trump people.
Oh, no.
So you're probably like a Gary
loyal.
Gary Johnson.
Who's Gary Johnson?
Gary Johnson is the libertarian candidate. He's run the last two elections. Probably not invited onto the main stage. I'm just guessing.
I don't. He didn't make a big impression because I never heard of him.
Well, I mean, libertarians are probably pretty good. Probably like small government.
Yeah, yeah. But he didn't have a chance.
No, he's got no chance. But
John, let me tell you.
Okay.
You got all. I mean, I'm really flabbergasted because I know. Trump's not my favorite. He wasn't my first choice. A lot of the stuff he says makes me cringe. And I don't agree with all his policies, particularly his stance on gender using the bathrooms. And
what was his official stance on
that? It's okay with anybody to use any bathroom in Trump Towers, he said. So, okay, whatever. And he supports minimum wage. I don't agree with that.
Oh, well, damn.
There's certain core things that I think we'd have a much better chance of getting through than if Hillary is our president. Tax reduction, corporate and personal, which would help the economy greatly. Regulation reduction, strengthening the military. A strong stance on immigration. Those are some of the core issues. And when you go back... I put this in the rant this week. The four main things from polls that Americans are concerned with right now are economy, jobs, terrorism, immigration, the debts.
I disagree with that.
Well, I'm telling you what the poll said.
No, the poll's wrong. The poll has got to be the Kardashians, Bruce Jenner's sex change.
Sadly, you're right.
Who's eating a taco on Cinco de Mayo?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sure there's one more thing.
But you get my point, John. If you're anywhere, if you have any smidgen of Republican blood in you, conservative blood, even though you don't like the guy and it's not a personality conflict, he's the only one that has a chance of getting some of the stuff done through that we need to be done to help this country.
Wow. I don't know, Doug. I gotta chew on that one a little bit. I gotta chew on that one. I expected a different response.
Tim or Hillary? Who do you want?
I expected kind of a different response from you. I'm gonna have to chew on this. We're gonna go on a break. I'm gonna chew on it.
All right, chew hard.
All right. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We'll be back after I finish chewing.
Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. We're on every Friday at 2 o'clock. It's the Gazette, or it's a radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette for all you need to know to be in the know.
So
something like that.
Close to being good. Oh my gosh. Well, Doug, I'm still chewing.
And
Trump. We have another segment, right?
Trump. Trump.
Hey, let's do something you like.
Okay.
Shall we do something you like?
Yeah.
We have,
always.
Well, what type of things do you like, Doug?
To review the news.
Okay. Well, we could do that. I was hoping, Fine. I guess we'll review the news. If you really want to do that now, okay, fine. I guess we can do that. Are you going to do this, or do you want me to do it?
Go ahead. You want to do your thing first?
No, you do your...
I know, because we had her come in.
We have her come in. She's going to do it now.
Okay. So it's Melissa Lampert for the Week in Review.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa.
So first we have a teenager was arrested for punching a 71-year-old man at a Valencia park.
Well, that takes guts.
Yeah, he was an 18-year-old named Tanner Smith who allegedly punched a 71-year-old man in the face after the man approached him and his friends and asked him to stop smoking near young children in the park.
Wow. You got to be careful. Sure. You got to be careful because every once in a while you see all these news stories about somebody broke into a 75-year-old man's house and got the GBs kicked out of him. So, I mean, you don't do that. Stop smoking around little kids. Don't be silly.
And don't hit an old man.
Ugh.
So he was arrested, you said?
Yeah, he was arrested, and he is facing charges of battery on an elder and battery, so 2 separate counts. And he pled not guilty in his court appearance on Tuesday, I believe.
Okay, John, you're the lawyer.
Welcome to the criminal justice
punch
system.
A guy in the face. The evidence is all over his swollen, bloody face, and he pleads not guilty. Help me to understand.
Doug, what happens if he pleads guilty?
He's guilty.
Yeah, he's going to jail, or he's going to get sentenced. If he pleads not guilty, then he can always come back and go, well, let's cut a deal.
Right.
Welcome to the criminal justice system, which is why I don't do criminal law, in case you ever wondered.
Okay. I can see why.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so what else you got? Anything else?
So our next story is a Castaic elementary school teacher who was accused of 4 counts of child molestation last year was cleared of all charges on Wednesday.
Oh, that's good news. But don't you think that's going to stick with him? I mean, I feel horrible when stuff like that happens. You don't make those allegations unless they're actually true, because you're talking about somebody's livelihood. And it's absolutely horrible.
Does he keep his job with the district, or is he still... Do we know that?
We don't know that right now. The district did release a statement following the verdict that said they're having a meeting on Tuesday to decide next steps, and they had a pretty lengthy statement on the way that this situation works.
If I was him, I'd hightail it out of town, wouldn't you?
How could you?
Fresh start?
And that's part of it. I don't know. I might stick around because I've been cleared of all charges. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It depends on... I don't know. It's a horrible situation because you make allegations like that, and and if they're true, yeah, okay, fine. There's a special place for those people. But if it's not true, or there's a simple misunderstanding to a certain extent, and he's cleared of all charges after an investigation,
right?
It's still a stigma. It's still stuck on this poor guy and you feel horrible about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was found not guilty on 1 of the charges, and the other 3 were dismissed by the court after the jury was hung with with 1 person voting guilty and 11 voting not guilty, and that was when those 3 charges were dismissed completely. So
yeah, it kind of makes you wonder what actually happened. I mean, you'll never know the truth. What actually happened and what the jury heard, because a lot of times it's not whether it's innocent or guilty, it's what the jury hears.
Right. Yeah.
OJ, hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so on another note, in Canyon Country, deputies are still searching for an at-large suspect who was seen with a gun in the Canyon Country area after allegedly getting into an argument with his ex-girlfriend over a child.
Jeez.
And that prompted a containment of the Canyon Country area. On Tuesday evening, they released a description of him the next day. The sheriff's station released that description. His name is Lemuel Parker, age 30. He's described as a black male, 6'1", weighing 170 pounds, and he is still at large as of this morning.
Wow, that's scary.
So he was waving a gun around and yelling and...
Well, he got into this argument, allegedly, with his ex-girlfriend, and she called the sheriff's station to let them know that she believed that he had a gun. I think she said she saw a gun. And then it turns out that there was a no-bail warrant issued for a probation violation for his arrest. So the deputies...
There's stuff, yeah. There's more stuff than just waving a gun. Wow, that's pretty scary, because that's when stuff like that boils over. That's when it escalates.
And they get an I don't care attitude.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Wow, this is kind of depressing news.
Do you want some good news?
I would love some good news. Tell us you got good news.
So next is the Cheesecake Factory is officially coming to Santa Clarita by the end of this year.
I guess soon we'll have a Nordstrom's too. Oh, wait a minute. That was just a nasty dig, wasn't it? That was a nasty dig.
So help me. I've never been to one. Is it a big deal? I mean, is it good stuff? Is it all the rage?
It's good stuff. It's an upscale chain restaurant. That's the way I would put it. Is their food good? Yeah, the food's good. Cheesecake's great. Cheesecake's, can you have a bad cheesecake?
Would you compare it to a Claim Jumper?
No, a little bit upscale than that. More like a slightly different macaroni grill type thing, where it's not quite red. It's an upscale. It's an upscale chain restaurant.
Yeah, it's actually been the most requested restaurant by the Santa Clarita community for the last few years, according to the Westfield district manager.
Porto's would be better, but that's just my personal opinion. Yeah. But no, it's not bad. That's actually
so. His steak's going to cost me $25, $30.
I'm not even sure they have steaks.
Oh, forget it.
They might have steaks.
Prime rib?
I don't know. Maybe prime rib.
Okay. Anyway, I think it's good news. I've heard lots of people rave about it.
People are excited about it. I think it's gonna go in the mall, right?
Yeah, it's going to go on Town Center Drive across from Pottery Barn. They're actually going to be taking over 3 retail spaces. It's 8,000 square feet, and they actually started construction already this week.
Wow.
They're going to be taking over those 3 spaces, and it's supposed to open by December of this year is the goal.
Wow, December of this year?
Yes,
they're going to move fast.
Guess we'll have our Christmas party. We should have the Gazette Christmas party.
Oh, you can't say Christmas.
Holiday.
Yeah, holiday.
No, we can say Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
Heck yeah. Christmas party.
Melissa Lampert, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right, so Doug, I was thinking. I've been chewing.
Chewing, thinking.
Okay, chewing and thinking. You were a massive Ted Cruz guy.
Yep.
Right? And now you're abandoning that and going to Trump.
Yes.
Okay. It's backwards to me.
Okay. Elaborate.
I think this is the problem with all of America at this moment. We think things backwards. I'll give you a great example. Okay, the signal in you. Okay.
Oh man.
All the money that they're spending on trying to put you out of business, rightfully, wrongfully. We won't get into that today. I know that the hearing was continued, and you read all about that in the Gazette. But it's like, isn't that backwards? Wouldn't it make more sense for them to spend money to improve their paper and put you out of business through competition?
One would think.
It's backwards thinking. I did have to laugh today because President Obama did say something about how that the press should really start, they got to delve into Trump's past, and it would be a disservice to the entire judicial to the democratic process.
You need to do your job.
Yeah, your due diligence, and it should be less tabloid-y reporting. And I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness, backwards thinking. I'm going to get them to do it to him, but don't do it to me.
Can I just interject real quick?
Of course.
When Obama announced his running back in 2008, he had been hanging out, going to board meetings with Bill Ayers, an admitted domestic terrorist.
Yep.
He had also been going to the church of the Reverend Jeremiah
Wright.
Yeah. And we all heard what he said. We should have vetted him, right?
Yeah. It's backwards thinking. Hey, look at him over there, not me.
Right.
Another one for you. You ready? Minimum wage.
Oh.
Okay. The raising it to. Oh, there's so many good arguments in favor of it, though, Doug. Did you know that 53.6 million people make less than $15 an hour? They should make more than that.
That's criminal.
That's awesome. It raises everybody's standard of living, right, Doug? Come on. It's going to.
Are you trying to get me going? Are you trying to get me started?
Well, wait a minute. Okay. It obviously, but you can't argue with those things. It's going to have a negative effect on poverty, right? It's going to make everybody more prosperous in theory. Hang on. I've even heard arguments that it actually reduces crime. Okay? You can see the thought process. Okay? Everybody thinks it's a good idea. But I think we're looking at it backwards. Why don't we, instead of creating more low-paying jobs or paying more to the low-paying jobs that we have, why don't we create more low-paying jobs? Think about it. If you have 3 spots to fill and somebody else has another 3 spots to fill, and they're low-paying jobs, okay? How are you going to get qualified candidates? Pay more than your competitors. Run a successful business. Provide better benefits. People will want to come work for you, right?
Yep.
It's simple. It's easy. The New York Times in 1987 actually wrote an article that said, the right minimum wage at that time, 0.
Wait a minute. The liberal New York Times?
Ideally,
they must not have been liberal.
Ideally, the market raises the wage.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the idea.
The way capitalism works.
But millennials don't believe in capitalism. We did that last week. All right, so that got me thinking. Now we can. You're going to ask, and you should ask, John, where are you going with all this?
John, where are you going with all this?
Wow, what a great question, Doug. No, going back to the election. The election isn't a vote for the best president. Who's going to be the best president? You know what this election is? It's an unpopularity contest. It really is. There was a Reuters poll. 1/2 of all American voters who support either Donald or Hillary said the main reason they support either one of those candidates is to block the other one from being in office. You have proved my point. Why do you hated Donald Trump? You don't like Donald Trump at all. But you're going to vote for Donald Trump. Why? Because you don't like Hillary.
No, that's not with me. That's not the case.
Oh,
no.
Doug.
Well, okay. I see what you're getting at.
Instead of what's your opinion with regard to Democrats?
You mean having her come in?
No, Democrats in general, as a whole, a group of Democrats.
I don't know. Do I have to explain it? Look at what's happened. Look at our debt. Look at our tax rate. Look at the regulations that are stifling this country's business. Look at the political correctness that they've allowed to creep in where you can't say this, you can't say that. They get so upset if you talk. I mean, I wrote a little column in my rant about the bathroom issue, and man, I got almost hate mail for it.
You are actually willing to change your views to prevent a Democrat from being elected into office? You are swallowing some of your principles as a Ted Cruz supporter.
I suppose you're
throwing your support to Ted Cruz.
But it really is the lesser of two evils, and I think we could get some good out of Mr. Trump. Good that we could not get out of Mrs. Clinton.
See, instead of working to make the Republicans better, you become fearful of the Democrats. The only thing we have to fear is the other party.
Well, in this case, you're right.
But don't you? And that's what's going to permeate this entire thing.
But I know, John. But we cannot afford what people are saying now. We've got to rebound. The Republicans have to rebuild themselves. Wait another 4 years and start over. We cannot afford 4 years.
It's something called negative partisanship. Okay, I'm more afraid of a Democrat than I am a principled Republican. Then I'm willing to work for a Republican that I enjoy, and that's what's going to happen. And you know what's going to happen? This thing is going to be reinforced by MSNBC, Fox News, because what are they? They're partisan news organizations. You listen to Fox
News, fair and balanced.
Oh, come on, really? Even you're not silly enough to believe that.
Well, the thing about Fox News is they always have a person on the left in all their panel discussions. They do that.
and they're come on, really?
They do.
And it's a true news reporting agency. No, it's not.
Oh, I know.
It's a partisan news agency, just like I mean, the biggest problem was going back to the Clinton era. It was the CBS, Clinton Broadcasting System. I mean, it was really that bad. But so, do I understand the hatred of Donald Trump? Quite honestly, it's a little strange to me because I want people to actually go look at what he says, not what the press says he says. Okay, just like any other candidate. But that's not going to happen.
But also, John, so many people judge things by personality.
Yes.
They don't really even listen to what he says or what his stance on issues are. They just can't stand the guy's personality.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I've actually talked. My 16-year-old daughter said something along the lines of, "I want my president to be presidential," and that's not a bad thing, but it's also not a necessary thing either.
I mean, look at the person we have now. He's one of the best at acting presidential.
Oh, he gives great speeches.
He's a great speaker.
Did you see his? The White House Correspondents' Dinner thing?
I heard about it.
That was awesome.
Funny, yeah.
It was absolutely. His comic timing was great.
Yeah.
Exactly
he
what
could be a really good actor.
Exactly
he should go into movies.
Exactly what you need for a president? No.
Not so much.
Not so much. But this negative partisanship is one of those things that I think is going to it's going to rip this country apart. The two-party system is just going to create such a us versus them society that it's not really going to work. I mean, ideally, this was remember what were we doing one time where I was going to say, oh yeah, Hillary is going to choose Obama as his running mate.
Right.
I love things like that. Here's another one for you. You ready? Think about this. If you're a true conservative, Donald Trump's not a true conservative. Right. I mean, you'll talk about that, I'm sure, at some point in time.
Right.
But if you think about it, why wouldn't the true conservatives run a third-party independent candidate? Okay? Ideally, if they did that, in theory, I think there's a lot of flaws with this theory, it could prevent anybody from getting the 270 electoral college votes that are needed to be president. Well, think about it. You run somebody who's going to win the purple states, Florida, Ohio. Those electoral college votes go to this third-party candidate. Cruz can't get over the hump without those.
No.
Hillary probably can't get over the hump without those. Nobody gets 270 votes.
Can't get over them.
Neither of them could.
You said Cruz, yeah.
Cruz, Trump, Hillary, nobody could. Okay? So what happens then, Doug?
What happens?
Nobody gets the 270 votes needed to become president.
What does the Constitution say?
It goes to the House of Representatives.
Oh, my goodness.
And who controls the House of Representatives, Doug?
Republicans, baby.
What kind of Republicans, Doug? Tell me.
Conservative.
Republicans. But here's the problem with that, okay? If you're going to run a conservative...
always something.
Well, if you're going to run a conservative candidate, ideally, and Trump did this today, very smart move. You know what he did? He goes, wow, these superdelegates are really messing up with Bernie. I'm feeling the burn. Burns should run as an independent. You know why?
Of course.
He's going to steal votes from Hillary. Yep. If the Republicans do the same thing, they're going to steal votes from Trump. So it's not going to work. So, I mean, you run that.
Can you imagine, though, if it would go to the House?
That would be so cool.
So what you're saying is Trump needs to get a true conservative running mate. So if it does go to the House...
No, because there's two candidates. then somebody's going to get 270 votes.
No, but I'm saying if it were to go to the House.
Well, if it goes to the House, each state gets 2 votes.
Right.
I mean, everybody gets 2 votes. It's not broken up. But I think that if he gets a conservative running mate, all that's really going to do is probably cement the people that like him and alienate. It's still, if you're a Republican, you're voting for my team. If you're a Democrat, you're voting for your team. And I don't like your team, and you don't like my team.
Are you saying it's a mess?
Bottom line conclusion is, it's a mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to get too technical for you, Doug, because I know you're going to have a hard time understanding this. But
I understand mess.
You're the epitome of this negative partisanship that is permeating American politics at this moment. Yes, you are, because
Trump's always been my second choice.
Oh yeah,
I drank some of the
suppose, okay, Trump was a Democrat. Would he still be your second choice?
No, but if he was a Democrat, he wouldn't have the...
if he was a Democrat with...
the stance he has on issues that he has.
Maybe he would. Suppose he identify himself more closely with the Democratic Party.
So I'd be a...
would he still be
Clinton
your second
Republican?
choice?
Like they call it Reagan Democrat?
Yeah. Would he still be your second choice?
I don't... That's a hypothetical.
Why? Because he's got a D after his name when he puts it on the ballot. Come on. Admit it, Doug.
Right.
Admit it. It's your team versus my team. You want your team to win.
Yeah.
Senate races. Take even the city council races, okay? There's so many people out there that if you see that little R, I'm voting for that no matter what.
Yeah, well, that's how I do with the judges, because I don't know any of the judges.
And you look for the little R.
Yeah, exactly.
Clean slate voting. Ugh.
Blame my parents.
No, and that's it too. I mean, everybody's parents. Well, my dad was a Republican. I'm going to vote Republican. Therefore, my kids will vote Republican. No, I think the idea is to listen to what the people actually say, not what the press tells you. No offense against the press. Not what the press actually tells you.
I want to tell the people, you listen to the difference between Trump's speech and Hillary's speech. And Trump hits issues. Hillary skims feel-good stuff.
I wish the situation was reversed. I wish Hillary was the Republican and Trump was the Democrat. Just to watch your head explode.
Yeah, what happened? That's what would happen.
All right, you've been listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Cruz hometown station. We are back after these messages.